Hi, welcome back to the Always Right podcast. I'm author Carissa DeLay.
And I'm Jamie Vendera, a shameless product plug for Dr. Vox. All right.
Oh man, I might have to put that in the show notes. Like, are you promoting anything? Oh geez, what's
So
that question?
you had a great topic, writing groups online,
Mm-hmm.
because they've been
Yeah,
around for a
online.
while. And
Yeah, online writing groups. Yeah, so let's just get started. So online writing groups. What's the plus? What are they? Like, what are the cons? Let's just talk about them.
you were going to jump to the cons then, huh?
You want to go with the cons first or
No,
the
I'm cool with that. You said cons, but you had pros in our list, so it's whatever you want to do.
Well, let's writing groups essentially are groups that of writers, authors, professionals, editors that kind of give you, feedback. They give you ways to kind of submit your work or ask questions and get like feedback. A social platform for writers,
So that sounds
essentially.
like a pro to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, it's really good. I mean, I joined a lot of these, especially on Facebook, way back in the day when I started writing fiction, because it allowed me to socialize with other writers who may be writing in my genre, and I've picked up a lot of tips. So I think I mean, there are a lot of cons, which we'll get into here in a minute, but I think they're excellent for you, especially if you're a new writer. Even if you're not
Mm-hmm.
a new writer, you may be on your third novel or something. You're like, man, how can I make this more engaging? I wonder if I can brush up on my writing skills. I read this book and that book. Oh, let me check out this group.
Yeah.
Marketing, it's great for marketing. Like there's a one on Facebook called 20 Books to 50K that a future guest on our podcast will come on and talk about. And this is my brother, and I'm so ADHD, his name just slipped my Jeff Rivera. Woo! That name just went right out and came right back in like a boomerang. Love you, Jeff. He turned me on to that group, and because he said it's great, you can get advice. You can learn about marketing, how to publish your book, how to sell your
Mm-hmm.
book, how to get more eyes on it. So I'll take a breath and let you go, and I'll drink
No,
some
no, you were
water.
doing, you were doing great. You were doing great.
Okay.
No, it is a good social space for writers. I listed a few pros and something I personally have went on writers groups on Facebook and asked, "Hey, I am trying to come up with a name. This is the feeling I want to get from this name. A masculine name, but I want this is the type of character." And so people just shoot out names, or I want a name to start with the letter L. Give me some L names, and people just like respond. So it kind of gives you like when you're stuck on something with writer's block, it kind of gives you a little feedback.
That's
Um,
great.
yeah,
Well, that's
yeah.
kind of. I think when I've been in there, I haven't used it for that, but I see the good people, because there are trolls in there. But you have a
Hmm.
young writer in, and like, I don't know about this. Can anyone read, the first few pages? And
Hmm.
I've seen a lot of constructive criticism in a positive way that's really helped to boost that author's confidence. Even if
Hmm.
there's something wrong in the sentence structure, I've seen a lot of lovely people. So that's what I do love about those communities, besides the trolls, which you have that in
Oh, that's
yeah,
definitely
you're
a
not going to
con.
get away from that.
Exactly. And something else that I feel uh, people don't realize is because you're going to be in a group, there may be like professionals in there. There may be best-selling authors. Sometimes they're still in those groups. I know there's a few online where there are professional writers, and sometimes publishers are in there just kind of feeling out the people. So you may get an opportunity. There may be an opportunity that knocks on your door based on what you're putting out there. Plus, are you someone that's a good communicator online? Or so they're showing whether or not your online etiquette is proper enough to work with, like seeing, oh yeah, I'd like to work with this person. They take the constructive feedback, and they don't look at it as though, yeah, your advice sucks because my stuff's perfect. They look at it like, oh yeah, thank you, I really need that. Or are they extremely needy? They're going to be able to see if you're a needy writer. Like, is this someone who's constantly needing basically to have the book written for them?
No, great. So I never thought about opportunities. I mean, that
Mm-hmm.
could be a way also. Like if somebody's sharing their ideas, like, "Oh, I love your cover," and another author will be like, "Oh my gosh, who did your cover?" And it could be like, "Oh, I'm
Mm-hmm.
an artist, I done it," or "Hey, here's the contact for the person I used," which benefits the new author. It benefits the artist. So I would definitely say we'll put links. Carissa found some great links so you can go through all these different groups, but I would join some.
Oh yeah.
Follow, like she just said, follow the etiquette. Don't be like, read my book, look at me, look at me. Go to Amazon. That drives
Well,
me
yeah,
nuts.
and that's another thing is following the page's rules. There are rules set forth that if you don't understand, like, I don't understand why that my posts aren't getting posted or why my questions are never being seen by anybody. Well, you may not be following the pages, like the social page or the online page or set of rules and guidelines, because sometimes they're like, you can't do this and you can't do this. But, and all of them say be kind. So if you're getting on there and you're not being very kind, you may get kicked or you may not have the ability to comment. So
Yeah,
that, pay
same thing
attention to those rules.
with, like, sorry, self
Oh, you're
promotion.
no, fine.
The one thing I say, like, and that's what I'm saying. They follow those rules because they may have like a self promotion day. They may say you can't post, look, my book's on sale for 99 cents, but they may have a particular day or a particular thread. And I run singing groups, and we actually shut one down for that because it just got it grew so much and it got overhand, and it was like, look, I'm this vocal coach, and it was about like my methodology, and it was like, buy my song, buy my book, this, and I'm like, you know what, we wiped it clean and started a brand new one, and we tightened
Mhm.
everything up. So you know what, have some respect. Cons,
Yeah, so yeah, that brings us to the cons. So there are cons about writing groups, obviously. The trust is always an issue with your work. Always, you're very protective of your work because that's your baby. That's your little work area that you've worked so hard on. So when you go to these writing groups and you're sharing it, there's a trust factor that someone's not going to take it and spin it off, and then all of a sudden now you've plagiarized your own work.
I'm actually, I'm not saying I'm dealing with that right now, not with a book, but I'm designing an accessory for the Doctor Box. Another shameless promotion. So, my 3D designer, I love him, but he's been slow. I'm like, you know what? I ain't got time for this. So I literally went to Fiverr and found some people like, yes, I can definitely do this. I have all the dimensions, specifications, and it's been 2 weeks, and I'm like, okay. Or you, I haven't paid this guy. I'm just saying, can you do this? Going to, yeah, I'll look through it. Okay, let me know because I'm tired of waiting. I'll pick somebody else. And yesterday I said, dude, if you're not going to respond, I'm done. I'm moving on. But then in my mind, okay, did he see this? And like, that's a brilliant idea. I'll take all these specs and design it myself and try to sell it.
Mhm.
So the same thing, if you come up with a really good book idea, I would kind of watch saying, all right, here's the synopsis of my whole book. Tell me what
Mhm.
you think, because there are people out there, you should know this by now. I mean, look at Twilight, look at 50 Shades of Grey. There were hundreds of copycat authors
Oh
to
yeah.
flood Kindle after those books blew up.
Oh yeah.
So be protective.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing is being protective of your stuff, um, but at the same time being protective of your mental health. I think as far as like the feedback, because there are a lot of negative Nancy's on there that they're going to try and tear you down. So you have to make sure that you're taking the feedback that sounds like trolls, like we mentioned, and just throwing it out the door and taking the constructive, being able to filter through constructive criticism and just those negative Nancy's.
Chris, and this is tough in the beginning, and I've seen this. I've had people cry to me over books, over singing, and I'm like, I say, it's kind of funny, but I make this joke. I'm like, they never hurt my feelings because I don't have
Mhm.
any feelings. But I remember for Raise Your Voice, one of my books, and I probably told this story before. I know you know it. And somebody it was not an actual name, it was not a verified purchase of Raise Your Voice on Amazon. And they
Mhm.
gave it like a 3 star, and they said the
Mhm.
book was total garbage. Said there was like 31 useful pages of
Oh yes, we've
information.
talked about it. You're like, "Well, I
Yeah,
know I wrote 36 useful pages."
no, I don't. I didn't go that far. I responded out of 400. Said, I know you didn't read it because I made sure to write 32 pages of useful information, and
That's
I didn't even
funny.
know about this comment. I don't really care. It doesn't bother me. I don't. You can leave me a one
No.
star review. It doesn't matter. But I had students like freaking out and attacking whoever this was, and I said, look, it's probably a jealous coach or author. You will get that.
Oh, yeah.
So like if you even if you
Especially
see
if it's a
that,
bunch of indie authors, sometimes they get a little catty.
No, well, you know about that as
Mm-hmm.
well as I do.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, they get under your skin, but at the end of the day, have thick skin. They can't
Yeah.
hurt you. You're only in competition with yourself. So,
Yeah.
if a troll comes at you with horrible criticism, or I know this is off topic from the groups, but if you have those type of reviews on Amazon, number one, is it a legitimate purchase? Number two, is it a real
Mm-hmm.
name? If it's not, it's somebody who's just jealous of you. And you know what? Is it going to hurt you? I really don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
Because people are like, oh, let me check it out. Well, this other one's saying this. I got to dive into this book myself. It can't be that bad. I want to buy it to see if it's that bad. So, but back to the negative criticism now that the squirrels have passed. Yes,
Yeah.
ignore the trolls.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Crow.
don't crows. Criticism trolls. That's a new word. We're going to have to use it.
Criticism trolls. Yeah.
Crows.
Criticism trolls. Yeah. Crows. Yeah. We should do that.
Don't engage. I mean, either block them. I did this the other day. It wasn't bad, but there was a girl with a box, and she's saying, "Well, a regular straw is the exact same thing." And I'm like, "Well," and I didn't list all the reasons. I said, "No, it's not." Back and forth and back and forth, and I'm like, to the end, she's like, "Well, no, I see the value, but we're going to agree to disagree on other." I'm like, you know what? There are certain people that will not like your work or just want to argue for the sake of arguing. So when you join these groups, you have to be prepared for that. It's going to happen. If
Mm-hmm.
you post anything that you want feedback on, it's going to happen. But
And
filter
everybody
it.
has an opinion. Everybody has an opinion. They're going to find something to give an opinion about. So don't take everything as like the gospel of feedback, as you have to utilize that stuff, because sometimes some of that feedback's just feedback. It just essentially like spam. I feel like it's like they're just spamming you to be a part of the community of voices, and they're not actually giving you anything back that's going to
Absolutely.
help you. Not that they're being trolls, because they could be basically rewording what someone else has done and just regurgitating it. So they're just spamming the thing. But also with spam, when you're in these writing groups, there are a lot of people who post things that you're like, oh my gosh, seriously, this has nothing to do with this writing group.
Yeah, I see that with politics, religion. I have no problem with that, but it's like, if it's a writing group, let's stay on point.
Mm-hmm.
Let's focus on why you're here.
So you mentioned that. So are you part of the 20 books to 50K?
Yeah, I haven't, and this is nothing against the group. I just haven't really been involved for years
Mm-hmm.
because I'm so busy, and I probably should be, because it is highly regarded. I'm sure they have a lot of great tips in there. But
Yeah, and I know that their thing is they like have like a low tolerance for BS. They're
yep,
not. So I have a few lists here. I went to this amazing website that kind of shared some of the top writing groups on Facebook. So one of them is the Pro Writing Aid Writers Community. I'm on that one. I,
yeah,
I am
this
a
is a
part of it.
great list. I'm glad you
Yeah,
found this.
I am on that one, and it's on Facebook. And here's where you can share like your writing questions. You can ask and chat with other authors. This is a good way to keep your mental health and social involvement, because as writers we tend to kind of like seclude ourselves, but it's nice to keep that social interaction going and just do it from your computer. um and they have strict rules, so it's pretty good. I mean, everything's going to bleed through at some point, but it's not bad. And then they have like every Monday they have like a self-promotion day where you can share your current work and progress in that group, so everybody's kind of doing that. That's nice. And
I
I
like
mean,
that this list has like fantasy and science fiction writers. So I was
mhm.
not aware of that group, and I'm actually going to join it.
Yes, yes. So like they have like different even like subcategories, like the writing partners in crime. So if you're like a lover of crime, thrillers, mysteries, and everything in between, this group has like advice for that type of writing journey. So that's good. And like you said, you mentioned the 20 books to 50K. That's their whole tagline is helping authors sell more books. So that's definitely an interesting one. So they can um, kind of help you cover some of the ideas of how to get your book more searchable and get it out there. So that's a good group. They have a fantasy and science fiction for writers. So
Just
like
joined it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's definitely up your alley. They focus on like the actual writing part, not necessarily the promotion part themselves in that group. So joining this group, it's more like kind of honing in on your craft, honing in on your ability to write sci-fi and fiction and fantasy fiction type stuff. So it's more for experienced authors, I feel like, versus new authors. So you've
Mhm.
written one, now you want to get better. So you're kind of like taking your skills at this point and enhancing them. So it's not like you're noobs.
No, but I'm sure, like, I've written a lot of fantasy, and I will still learn something in that group. We're always learning, so.
Yeah. There's a group called Writing Bad. So it doesn't matter how good you think you are, everybody's got things to learn. We've learned that from our editor, Rich, that he's like, even though he's an editor, he still gets edited. He still has things he has to work on as far as a writer goes. You know, he's not even like his own perfect, like, personal
Well,
edit.
if they have questions and they're like, to join this group, do you write bad? I'll be like, yes, I'm horrible, so let me in.
Well, and so on here on this website, it talks about this one, and one of the comments that people tend to say is how positive, kind, and humble everybody is, because they all know they're improving and they're all like working from improving their experience. Nobody's perfect, so that's really awesome that they do that, and they don't tolerate trolls or crolls.
Yep,
Trolls or crolls.
crows.
Yes. Fiction writing. There's fiction writing. So if you like tacos and writing, you'll love fiction writing. It says.
Well, that's right up my alley. I had tacos last night.
Yes. Yes. So the Copywriter Cafe, sounds like something I wouldn't mind to get involved in, because it's more of a professional copywriters who answer questions to the community for encouragement. So you can let's see. So if you're trying to figure out how editors work, this would be a good group to kind of feel how they look at work. So this is just like, not maybe as if you're just a basic fiction writer. This is more like if you're trying to figure out how to make your writing better. It's nice to see how an editor works. So when Rich would edit my work, I would see how he's doing. I'm like, okay, this is what an editor would think. So maybe it's nice to just kind of be a part of that group to see how different types of writers work. It may not be for you. Uh,
The same
Grime
thing
Dark,
with Gridmark, because
Grime Dark.
Grimdark.
Grimdark, yeah,
Yeah,
Grimdark.
I said
Fiction-
Gridmark.
Yeah, well, that's how
I
I
didn't
read it
know
at first. That's how I read it. That's exactly how I read it at
I'm
first.
assuming this is a genre. Yep.
Yeah.
So, for people who are in grimdark fiction.
Mm-hmm.
So if this is not your thing, don't
Yeah, and
join.
most of these all say the same thing. We have no drama. We don't put up with drama. This is not a place that you can be uncivil with people. They want you to be in a understanding point of view that we're all artists, readers, writers, whatever you want to put in there. But this is a group of authors, so members must be supportive and thoughtful. It says. Oh,
Self-publishing formula.
formula SPF community.
Formula.
Yeah. Formula.
So,
Yeah,
and I think
go
a lot of
ahead.
our listeners are self-publishers. I mean, even we have Vendera Publishing, a lot of people, it's just that day and age. So, if
So
you're curious.
this group doesn't allow promotioning. You can't promote your book.
Good.
Yeah. So if you're looking for like active encouragement and up-to-date industry information, this is the place, but it's not a place for self-promoting or soliciting people for anything.
Well, like you even mentioned spam earlier, but you're talking about like spamming as far as trolling. But that's the one thing I don't like about these groups. If it's buy my book, look, that drives me insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's the Inner Circle Writers Group. It's kind of the same idea. It's a non-abusive. It's for writers, supportive environment that always helps and gives, on professional ways to write and on topics. So they don't put up with drama as well. Writing Revolters. Sounds like a big,
So this is more for, writing revolters, more for freelance copywriters.
Yeah. Who are loyal to their founder. Yeah. This seems like a cult. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Jordan.
The cult of Jordan. Yes. But this is supposed to be for newbies to get plenty of advice and feedback to their questions from professional copywriters. So it's like having mentors in your back pocket, they say. Writers Fight Club. Let's see here. This one, the number one rule for Writers Fight Club is coffee is for closers only.
I like where they say, if you don't have a thick skin, you can't play in this playground. So I'm assuming this is like
brutal.
This is like positive, constructive criticism trolls. You know,
I don't even think we should add the word positive because it sounds like they're like, listen, be prepared.
yeah,
This is-
because we're not going to sugarcoat it. Your paragraph sucks, and this is why. But if you go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, it said if you're tired of Facebook groups that are heavily moderated and you're afraid to offer constructive criticism, maybe your pet peeve is under moderated groups that where anything goes. So this basically has no rules. So
well, this is what doesn't kill you strengthens you. Or
I know. Like I'm going to join this club just for the fun of it. Like I just want to see what's happening here.
Oh my gosh. But hey, at least you'll know. You'll get the brutal truth.
Yeah. 10-minute novelist. This is yours. This is totally yours, you know?
Where do you see that? Oh, okay. Yes. This is perfect. Right up my alley. I love it, love it, love it.
Yeah, this is the premise. Butt in the chair, 10 minutes a day to write.
I thought you meant 10-minute books. I can read this book in 10 minutes.
Well, no, it has the whole like mentality. You can carve out 10 minutes of your day to just write.
Absolutely. I say that with like even in Mind Over Music with musicians, like I don't have any time. I'm like, you know what? Whatever you want to do, whether it's practice in your basement or record, you set an alarm and just go for 10 minutes. Just freaking do it. And even if you're like, oh, I can't stand this, at the end of 10 minutes, quit. I don't care.
So if you're needing motivation, this might be the group for you, the 10-minute novelist, because this one is basically talk about writers, and you can put your pet peeves in there, your crazy Google searches. But if you just feel as comfortable as talking to a technical aspect of writing and asking questions to help you learn and grow. So it's one of those, everybody's in there like just trying to get motivated. So that's a good one.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's a couple other groups, like there's the creative fiction writing, and there's a couple that you already mentioned. You know, I think, and I'm sure you can do this, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can put a link that you found.
Yes, I'm going to add this link to the show notes.
Yeah, because there's several others in here, and I think just check them all out. See what works for you. Stay away from Writers Club, you know, if you don't have thick skin, but everything else goes. Yeah.
They have some listed for, you know, like bloggers and stuff, depending on, you know, more isolated groups. Like you might want to type in when you're looking for a writing group specific to your genre or specific to your type of writing.
Absolutely.
You brought the screw crap water bottle again today.
Oh, I did. Did I not? Yes. So.
Yes. So noisy.
Online groups.
Yeah. So now here's another link that I was reading earlier. Oh my god. I told you when we joined.
It's ADHD day.
It's what day?
ADHD day.
Every day is JDHD day.
Oh yeah.
You even forgot what you're called.
I did. We had need to start the cartoon series. All right,
so
but
if you're not what? If you're what? Oh
no,
yeah.
I was just going to say you did find another really cool thing about more writing groups, but
these are the ones that are not on. These are the ones that are not Facebook. So if you're not on social media, you can also find writers groups that are not social media distributed, but specifically online that you can just go and join and be a part of there. It's kind of like almost a blogging group essentially. So these are for a community of writers just like ourselves, but they are created to help support through, you know, feedback and criticism and ways to inspire. So that's what these are also made to do, just like the ones on Facebook, but you just have to go online. So let's get down here. I have a few. They have like some of the groups that are listed. Okay, the Critique Circle.
Here we go. So you know where to go. But you found it.
Yes. Well, it's down the bottom. This one, I looked this one up and I went down to the bottom of some of the listed ones for this one. And this is got Critique Circle, which if you're looking for constructive criticism on your stories, this is the biggest, longest running writing group that they have. The one thing I like about this one is there's not really any joining requirements when you register. You just need to get some credits before you can publish your own work. So you earn credits by reading stories from other members and providing criticism. So this kind of pushes you to engage. And I have that in the bottom of our notes, like don't be a taker and not a giver. if you're in these writing groups, make sure that you're giving feedback, because you are asking for stuff. So in return, someone else is asking. So maybe take time to read over someone's stuff and give some feedback as well.
And I mean, give good feedback, but also remember, read. It's so different. It's like if I text you, you're like, what the heck? He's an ass. And I'm like, you never know with the text how it is. So make sure you read what you post. It's constructive. Think, how would I receive this criticism? So if you're like, oh, that's really bad. Okay, that's fine. But explain it to them in a way that they're like, wow, this person's great. Someone's going to see your criticism. They're going to critique you in a positive manner as well. So everybody benefits.
And so this one here, this is also one of those ones you can earn points and put those towards like the membership plan, even though it's technically free. Especially but you have to be 13 or older.
You talking about writing.com?
Yes, sorry, writing.com. This one here is, but it also offers like some members options. So I'm not really sure as far as when you're first starting out if you want to invest in that, but it might be a good option to get some feedback, because they do have a variety of people who read back, like whether it's an essay, short story, or things that they can literally look at your stuff. So you're creating kind of like a portfolio. This one was the name is funny. Scribophile. It's like, seems like you should be on a list or something, a watch list.
I think this is more of a blog though, because I've seen this
it's
before.
still a writers club online. It's still, it's an authors forum, and it still offers criticism. Okay. Yeah, it still gives you feedback. But it does, the blog is a place where the writing tips and tricks for seasoned writers. But you can sign up and you can be a part of their community. They have groups and communities on their website. Okay, and of course the what? The
next name.
Oh, the National Novel the NaNoWriting Month.
NaNoWriMo, as I.
Well, that's the national. That happens in November.
Okay.
Have you ever done that?
No.
So that's, I should have. I think I don't know if it has it. I don't think it's listed here, but I do know that in November, it's the National Novel Month, where this group here does, where you have to write a novel in a month.
Can I wait for November to write sigil?
No.
Dang it.
No.
All right.
It has to be 50,000 words in a month. You have to write. Basically, you're writing. It's a.
Oh, that's easy.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a $50,000 or it's a 50,000 word competition type situation. Like it's like I don't know if you want to call it really a competition, but I mean, everybody does this little 50,000 words in a month, and it's in November. But basically, this is this is the online group for beginners, essentially. But there are a lot of seasoned authors that'll still get on there. But they have online communities, and they'll give you the information and resources that you need for that thing they do there, but also just in general, feedback. The Reddit writers group, Reddit's got everything.
Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah, but they focus a lot on keeping writers motivated. So that's always good if you're feeling like you're stuck. And constructive feedback, again, they kind of avoid the drama and focus on more of like the new releases and things that are in the industry that may help you. Now, this one's not for you. This one's the She Writes. This is an online.
Well, I've written as a she. I've written as Drusilla Winters.
Oh, I wonder if you're writing with a female pen name, and if you can be a part of a writing group, or you're just Just kidding.
I've used my fake pictures.
So this is specific for women connecting with members all over the world in this forum. So that's good. You can join this community to write. She Writes has an education platform and webinars and courses and boot camps. Excuse me. So they have over like 34,000 people that are members worldwide. No fees to sign up, although they do have stopped accepting new members due to high volumes. So, but check back regularly. They may open it up. They may open their platforms more. So here's your community. Science Fiction and Fantasy Community Chronicles.
Indeed.
Yes, SFF. What was the other one? It was like, there was another one that we listed that was on the previous one on Facebook.
Oh, yeah. But it's in there. You'll see it in the link. I joined it.
This is also one of the largest communities in the world for this particular genre. So this is slightly different from others because it focuses on threads and comments rather than active posts. So the threads act as a library of helpful writing resources that you can search for and pick up helpful tips and inspire your work. So you don't have to just look what's most recent.
Oh,
You can
that's nice.
yeah, you can search out what's I guess applicable to what you're going through. So also free to join. The next big writer. So the next big writer is it's a community that also allows a lot of feedback, but the members post their content for review and feedback in specific areas such as paragraphs and sentences. But this forum, you can also ask questions and search for advice. So that's also good.
So, I mean, I think that would be really good. You know, I don't know if this ever happened to you, but I've worked with authors where they're like, Jamie, I've only written 3 paragraphs in 6 hours today. Why? Because they're trying to perfectly structure that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the way I write. I just go at it and come back and fix the problems later. But it sounds like this will be the perfect group for if you have that kind of mentality and you're stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Do that. Submit some paragraphs. You'll start to learn, but keep a list. Like, oh, they keep saying, I keep saying, I am, and there'll be something like, shorten it to I'm, apostrophe M, and you add that to your list. Like, oh, I'll fix that. I'll know that in sentence structure. So you start keeping your own checklist, so you learn from your own paragraphs.
Mm-hmm. There are several, and I'm not listing all of these, but this one's kind of good because this is for insecure. This is like a support group. So if you're feeling a little insecure about your writing, this insecure writers group is specifically there to a perfect place to kind of overcome your insecurities and seek encouragement. So this group is something that you're not going to get the trolls and the crolls. You're going to get a more positive way to kind of keep you on point with your writing. So
Scrolls. I want to
Yes.
start using that all the time.
Yes.
Along with JDHD. This is really, really cool.
Yeah, and that one has like unpublished authors and bestsellers in it, so you never know. So,
And for the record, there are published famous authors that I guarantee you are still insecure about their work. We're human, so you're not alone.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I belong in Talentville. I'm just saying. No, I'm joking.
You're hilarious. But there's a group, so there's always that one.
Yeah, I don't think I could join that group. I got a little skill. If they got a Skillville, I might be able to slip in there. But Talentville, no, I'm joking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is I actually like this group because if you're submitting in there, agents and managers they actually use this Talentville to find aspiring authors or talent. So you know, if you've been submitting your manuscript to the big publishers, you're like, oh, I'm never going to get signed. This group may be for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what I don't think people realize is sometimes it's that little, just sometimes takes one little connection to get you connected. That's how I got connected with you. Like it was one little connection. I did someone's hair. She happened to know your mom, and it just happenstance, and it just works out that way. So that 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, but in reality now it's like 4.32 or something like that.
I'm scrolling down through this list, and I'm like, does it still exist? Wattpad. I remember when it came out, and people were like, "Oh, I'm." In the beginning, what I was seeing is like, oh, I'm not really worried about being an author, but I want to write my story. And they were typing in Wattpad, so that's pretty cool. Looks like of course, they're more into romance now, but all right, Wattpad.
Interesting.
Keep it going.
That one's one of those ones that's very borderline Wattpad.
Yeah.
Another one that you're not allowed. Well, 2 more you're not allowed to join is the Women Who Write and Girls Write Now.
Do what?
Girls Write Now and Women Who Write. These are basically, geared towards women. More focusing on female empowerment within the writing community. There's a Goodreads one, which people don't realize that Goodreads is a great place to make sure you're going on there and reviewing books, sending people to Goodreads to review your work. Say you're at a book signing, someone gets your book, and of course they're not a verified Amazon purchase now, so therefore they want to review your book. Have them go to Goodreads. Goodreads is a great place for people to review your book and give feedback. So There's also a popular authors group within Goodreads that it's a fantastic place to kind of like um, seek out other people's, categories and stuff like that.
Yeah, Goodreads is another one that's been around for a long time. I
Mm-hmm.
remember, and I'm pretty sure I had some conversations with Mark Coker back when he just launched this. So we're talking, I don't remember, 07, 08, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's grown, and everyone does it. I even remember one time with 7-Eleven Press, we had bookmarks made up, and it
Mm-hmm.
was to push them, and we were passing them out, leaving them benches for people to pick up in libraries so that they would be led to Goodreads to review our books.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm. So this one's kind of interesting. This is the meetup group. So this
mm-hmm.
is a way that you can connect with people online, but find ways to meet up with authors in your local area. So when you go on their website, you click and then you can put in your location. It'll give you all the groups that are in your area. How many members are in it? Is it private? Is it public? And yeah, it's kind of cool. And I don't know if like they have like a monthly meetup, kind of like to talk about writing and stuff. But so there's these different groups that you can kind of join.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested in that.
Yeah. So click that little link right there and see how many writers groups you have in your area. I have 3 in my area. Within a 20, and you can change your mileage as far as how your mile rate
Okay,
is.
where did you find it? Because mine's showing me like thousands. So I clicked on it.
You went to accept, or you clicked on it, so it has the little red meetup.
Yeah, join writing groups.
And writing, and hit your location up there at the top. There's no way there's thousands of writing groups in your backyard.
Search for country. Why would I do that? What did you put in?
I put in my location in Shalimar, Florida.
How did you do your location?
Mine's at the top of the page there. It has like search writing.
Yeah, what are you doing this on your phone?
Yeah.
Okay, this is weird. It's not doing it for me.
Did you click the link that was in the
meetup writing page?
And then you type writing in the search part, and then your location here on the right part, and then hit search. And there should be that option for events and groups. And if you go to groups,
no, I'm not finding it.
Mine was pretty easy. But there are 3 groups in mine, but only one would actually apply to me that's a writing group, because one is it's a music collaboration for all, so it's more for the LGBT community. Then there's one, the Gulf Shores Writers Roundtable. They're local writers who want to be writers or get published, or some of them are even published authors. So this is basically talk time, meet with other authors. So this would be probably the one that I would want to join. And then there's the Crestview Real Estate Investment Group. Well, guess what? I'm not doing that one.
Okay, I finally figured it out. It was my ADHD kicking in, but I found 3 within 25 miles. River Valley Writers in Portsmouth, Ohio. Sacred Realm Productions, Portsmouth, Ohio. Have you had a spiritual experience? So I don't know. Those don't sound like writers groups to me. Let me expand to 50 miles. No, there are not a lot of writers groups in this area. River Valley Writers seems to be the only legitimate one, and it has 112 members, and that's close.
How far is that one?
Like 20 miles from me.
Oh yeah, see, you can join their group and just touch base.
I'm seeing if I know anybody. Nope, it's gonna make me log in. No, that's really cool though.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you had time to have a, meeting of the minds, a mastermind with local authors that maybe write in your genre,
Yeah.
how much better would that be than going in a Facebook group? I mean, that's great. Don't get me wrong, but if you could meet up with a half a dozen or a dozen other authors and like, let's go and have lunch, let's talk about our books, let's help each other. That is great.
Absolutely agree. I'm totally going to join this group, and hopefully they accept me. Hopefully I can get in. So, all right. Well, this has been an informative episode for people who kind of need a community, need to get their mental health stable when it comes to their insecurities of writing. So hopefully our listeners can utilize some of these spaces for whatever they need. There's a writing, or there's a community for anything, like whether it's writing or not writing. There's a community for almost everything. So
yeah, and if I could leave you, Chris, with one thought as I'm watching you and I'm doing this, you need to tattoo something right there on me.
You need to fly to Florida then.
Yeah, and I would put my watch over there. I hate covering the butterfly, and then I don't want to cover my wife's eye because then she'll know
Yeah.
she can't watch me. But that's just blank. That's naked. I don't like it.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right,
there you go. Food for thought. Find time for me to come to Florida.
crows.
Oh my gosh, no. JDHD. All right.
A little water bottle. So I'm
Oh my
never
gosh.
thirsty.
Right?
All right. I didn't mean to just interrupt you.
Oh no, you're absolutely fine. All right. Thank you for listening. And if you're interested in finding other ways to listen to us, we feel free to go to alwaysrightpodcast.com. Click on those little icons. Definitely go over to YouTube so you can see our crazy faces and subscribe. You can also email us your comments if you have some other writing groups that you would like to shout out to us, or if you have feedback on our episodes, feel free to email us at alwaysrightpodcast@gmail.com, where we will respond if you have a legitimate question or comment and nothing that is spam from Kroll's.
Yep. So with that,
All right.
I am author Jamie Vendera.
And I'm author Carissa DeLay. Thank you for listening. Until then, always right.